We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Jonathan. The Verge's Next Level Technology series covered Dolby's experiments that gather EEG readings and other biometric data to track emotional and physiological responses of volunteers while they're watching movies and videos. Dolby says they're hoping to use the data to convince studios that Dolby technologies like high dynamic range, expanded color, and object-oriented sound can be used to elicit predictable responses from audiences to help to better convey an artist's intent. For example, with bright enough image of a flame, people's bodies will react as though the flame is real. Pain or aversion can be induced, and they can also track if a viewer is excited or bored by what they're watching. Jonathan wants to know if we think this is kind of creepy, or maybe it will actually lead to better movies. Forget traditional focus groups. Just gather all this data on a test audience and tweak the movie until they react the way the studio wants them to. Is it manipulation or a tool for better products and content? I mean, I think this is a great idea. I'll be honest with you. I absolutely love this. I don't think it's creepy. I think it seems creepy, but let's be honest. How many times have you got shivers down your spine because of music in a movie?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How do you think they did that? They sat there and they watched it as it happened. Up, the movie Up, they were interviewing the guy who scored it, or gal, or people, I don't remember who it was, and they were talking about, as they were recording this, they would watch it and then they would do the music, because that's how they do that. They do the music. They said everybody was in tears as they had to keep stopping because people were crying as they were doing this music because it was so emotional.
Yeah.
That's how they know they're doing it right. That's how they know they're doing it right. You get that shiver down your spine. You get that feeling of fear. You get that feeling of excitement. You get that feeling of dread. You feel that feeling of emotional connection to the content that you're watching. They're doing it right now. If the science can make it happen a little bit better, I do not think they're going to sit there with a bunch of, Clockwork Orange people staring with their eyes peeled open and people putting drops in them so that they can get the exact right emotional response out of everybody. I don't think they're going to do that. But what they are doing, what Dolby, I think, is trying to do, first of all, it's just a marketing thing for them. Like, we can actually show hard data that shows that.
Right. When you can get this bright at this color, there's a physiological response that nobody can stop.
That's right. Yeah. But then again, we're all having those physiological responses anyways. So I don't think it's creepy at all. I like it.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's creepy. I do think it's manipulation, but I don't think that's automatically a bad thing.
It's the whole point of movies. Are you kidding me? That's the whole point. We want to be manipulated. What's the last thing that we want to have happen when you're in a movie theater? So you don't want somebody or anything to distract you from the immersive experience. That's why we have all these speakers. That's why we have these big screens, right? We want to be immersed and we want to forget everything else. And if this helps us get there, 2 thumbs up from the Tomster.
I mean, honestly, if this starts getting movie makers to care and think more about eliciting an emotional response from the audience, I'm all for it, because that's what I want from movies. Yeah. I want to be emotionally moved, and a lot of movies don't do that for me. So if this improves that, even if it's simply because the image on screen is scientifically designed to make me feel something, even when the characters in the story don't necessarily do so, I'm kind of all for it. Like, I want an emotional experience. That's what I'm watching.
Why do bad movies get Oscars for great scores?
Right.
Why? Because the score is great. It still elicited that response from the listening audience, even though the movie itself was kind of horrible. And then you ask yourself, why didn't somebody, after viewing this movie, not look at the director or the writer or them go, are you kidding me? Like, okay, I'm going to harp on Batman v Superman, but I'm doing it again. No one sat there and said, really, Martha? You're going with Martha. Are you kidding? Are you joking? Is he joking with me right now? Is this a joke? No one said that. No one said, my kid is 11 years old, and I could hear his eyes rolling when it happened. Could hear it click around his little head. You cannot tell me that this is not a good idea. I mean, someone needs to do this.
Yeah, I
Someone
mean,
needs to do that.
if you could have the data where somebody's saying my intent was to get people to get choked up at this point, and this data shows you that everyone is laughing at it, that's valuable.
There's no data. You just go in the room and look around.
Yes, but I mean, maybe that would be unconvincing. Maybe this is what they need, is charts and graphs with numbers.
Now,
to prove
I
it.
have been to screenings of movies, and they ask questions of people. There is no way they didn't get feedback that said, dude, the Martha thing is dumb. Like, straight up stupid, right? The Martha thing is not, that's not happening. They must have gotten that feedback, and if they were like, listen, we already made the movie, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
I'm like, I know what you're going to do now. You're going to go back to the drawing board and fix it because it's dumb. It's so bad. All right, I'm sorry. I'm never gonna let that go. I am never gonna let that go. I'm sorry.
Justice League has its work cut out.
I actually went back and watched Suicide Squad again. It wasn't as bad the second time. I liked it a little bit better the second time. It was a waste of a movie. Perfectly good movie. It could have been a lot better. But it was better than I remembered it being. But then again, I'd seen bad movies. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.